evening, everyone, and welcome as you're arriving in through the Zoom waiting room. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited you could be with us today for this program that is one more in our series of cross-border connecting. This is a series of programs that started several years ago as an outgrowth and recommendation from an Arizona statewide town hall on Arizona and Mexico. We started with in-person programs down in Hermosillo, and we are really excited that we will be returning to that this fall. But along the way, in the last several years, we did these virtual programs on different topics of interest to people not only in Arizona, but in Mexico, on how we can grow a stronger and better region together. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsor, if we can get that slide up just real quick, who is the Nelson Family Charitable Fund, who has been a wonderful sponsor for these programs and a big supporter of helping to strengthen and grow not only the Arizona-Mexico relationship, but even the economic region that is Arizona and Mexico. So thanks so much to the Nelson Family Charitable Fund for that. And now I'd like to move on to the program, and I'd like to introduce someone who's really the heart and soul of these programs, not only in helping to arrange, facilitate, report on them, but to do so much more in this effort, and that is Linda Elliott-Nelson, who retired from Arizona Western College, but like so many amazing people, I would say has failed retirement and is continuing to give back to her community. And as our new chair of the Arizona Town Hall International Relations Committee, she is certainly doing that, including with this program. She's also a former winner of our coveted Arizona Town Hall Shirley Agnos Award, and just an all-around amazing person. So with that, I will turn it over to Linda Elliott-Nelson, who will facilitate the program from here. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you so much, Tara, and thank you for your support of our cross-border connecting. Today, we're going to talk about the workforce, and in particular, the preparation and education of the workforce. People are concerned, are we going to have employees that are going to have the necessary skills? And students are wondering, where can I get a good job? And what kind of skills and knowledge do I need to get a good job? With this focus on the workforce, we're looking at preparing students for the global economy. And people may ask, why the global economy? What if I never leave Arizona? What if I never leave Sonora or Baja California? We have companies in our states that come from other countries. And so there is the intercultural communication there. Also, we have students that may want to go to other countries, other places to have their careers because they want to be flexible, or maybe they work for a company that has centers in other countries and they want to transfer to other locations. Our three experts today are going to be talking about the different skills and knowledge on preparing students for the workforce. I will be introducing each one of them, Dr. Mónica Acosta Alvarado, Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo, and Kristin Allen, just before they speak. Our first speaker is Dr. Mónica Acosta Alvarado. She is a professor, researcher, and consultant in strategic management, entrepreneurship, organizational development, and human talent management. Currently, she is a business professor at Northern Arizona University in Yuma. She is a former international rankings director at the CETIS University system. Her doctorate is in business administration with strategic management, and she also holds masters in business administration and in human resources management. She has more than 25 years of professional and academic experience and is an international academic accreditations evaluator. She's an author and co-author of both academic articles and 2 books, and a reviewer for scholarly journals. Please welcome Dr. Mónica Acosta Alvarado.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and have this time to talk about an exciting topic for me, as this is preparing students for a career in the global economy. So it's great to have this time. Thank you so much. So I will talk about my background is on business, and I'm a professor in the business department. And also I'm teaching about multicultural teams or cross-cultural teams. So what we wanted to share with you today, I'm going to share my screen. I have the presentation here, and you can take it. Can you see my presentation? Okay, great. Just wanted to check. Okay, today I wanted to talk to you about the why we need or the need that Linda was saying, that we need to prepare our workforce. And even though if you are thinking that probably you're not going to work outside the US or outside our state, you can be challenged by different people from different countries, and we need to be prepared, right? We don't know, we are going to be business manager in another country, or probably just to have employees that we need to supervise, that they are from different cultures, different countries, and how we can do that. So that is the importance of being prepared as global citizens, how we need to prepare our students for that. And how I'm putting here, but first, I put, how can we mold young individuals into well-rounded global citizens? But first, start with why. Usually, the education is designed for solve our country's problems, goals, challenges. But we need to prepare our students for the global issues that we are facing right now. And we need to give them or provide them or share them that perspective to be able to help with climate change, with human rights, with economic interdependence, how we can help them to help our world. Why the global economy is relevant for the students, as Linda was saying, why? Today, this is from the OECD in 2019. When today's students enter the world of work, they will be working with the world itself. As the UN states, they will work for international companies, be involved in international trade, collaborate with peers around the world on multinational ventures, tackle global problems such as disasters, disease, and climate change. We just saw COVID-19, right? Collaborate with employees from a variety of cultures and compete with peers around the world for jobs and markets. So if we think about our daily life, a day in the life of Erika or a day in the life of Kristin, it could be like, okay, we go for a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, and yeah, where do they come from? Where that coffee comes is from Asia, Africa, Mexico. If we go and ask for an avocado toast, we will be getting avocado from Mexico. and also another countries from America Latina. And if we went to see the Barbie movie, okay, where those dolls are made in Mexico, are made in also India, are made in Asia. If you are using covers right now, they are also from different countries. They are the fabric that they use is from Asia, and they do it on Indonesia. So if we think about our phones, if you have an iPhone right now, probably one of the semiconductors there has been made in Mexicali, Baja California. And so the world that we're living right now, it's facing the globalization since the, I don't know, the 30 years ago. So how we can face that and be prepared to be an employee that can add value to our companies or to the organizations where we are performing. If we think, I put there the jet because also in Mexicali, Baja California, this 1 hour from here, they are making the jets, private jets, and they are designing it. And most of the directors there, the top management and middle level management, they're a lot from USA. So it's like a familiar for us to be working in, and also with this region that we're on the with the border crossing, like easily a lot of our citizens are going every day to work to a different country, right? So this is why the importance of this. And also I put preparing students for a career in the global economy. Like why? What is that? Why we're talking about that? Because we need to steer the education towards preparing students to compete successfully in the global economy. What is the global economy? What we were talking about. There's a global trade that we need to be aware of, and how we can be prepared for that is to push to educate students for the 21st century. That is, the OCDE is have used that term to use or design the abilities or the skills that we need to develop in our students. We need to prepare them with knowledge, skills, and sensitivities to compete and navigate the challenges that globalization is making us face, right? Also, I put here why this is important, how we can work on it. There are different frameworks that we can use to prepare students. And OECD is telling us that, okay, we need to develop that, taking into consideration globalization, economic globalization, that as we were saying, global economy. And we try to do that without, or with the exclusion of political dimensions. I put here, what is global trade? Just to know why this topic is important, right? Just to let you know why we need to be prepared, or be preparing our students. Here you can go to the Global Center of International Development at Harvard. They developed this. It's a free interactive simulation that helps visualize the magnitude of global trade. If we go there, you will see it's showing.
It's thinking.
Okay. So it will be changing, and you can there visualize the data. You can go into the different, let's say, if we go here, you can see how China is interacting with how many countries, how United States is also doing the same. Okay, we can see how Australia, you can see the whole globe there, and how the commerce or the trade is behaving. So this is just a tool that you can use to see how we can go here in Europe. So you can see how United States is interacting also. And you can go to let me get back to the presentation. And here you can see the data. This is from 2021. So you can be looking into different industries and how they are making all those trades in the world, and which countries, the percentage. And this is just to let you know that we need to be prepared. This is a reality, and our students need to be prepared also. So the why is that we want our students to succeed, and not just to succeed, to help us improve our world, right? Being prepared for this global economy, it's helping them to improve their communities, improve their country, and also the world. That we are interested about if we are developing skills in our students, right? What we need to develop in them is cultural awareness. It's very important to know that you are facing or collaborating or interacting with people from different cultures, different background, different cultural identity, different values, probably idiosyncrasy. We need to develop also on them cross-cultural intelligence. Is how much do we know about the different cultures? It's like, I don't know, Linda, how can you greet a Japanese businessman without bowing?
I wouldn't not do it. Otherwise, I would shake hands, but I would definitely bow.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can without bowing, you cannot greet him. So yeah, or sometimes when I was in Europe, they give me 3 kisses or 2 kisses, and I'm used to just give one, right? When you're greeting somebody. So we need to be aware of those little issues or gestures that are going to have a big impact in our business and our negotiations and the outcomes that we're going to have in our trade, our global trade. So it's very, very important that we do some research, that we know those facts, and try to increase our IQ in terms of cross-cultural intelligence. And also intercultural competence, how we can communicate effectively with different cultures, how we can perform effectively in multicultural teams, how we can negotiate with different cultures, how we can know when you are going, once we were sitting on a table, on a negotiation table, and we were from different countries there, we were negotiating with a Japanese team, and we didn't know, we thought all the time that the one that was sitting on the central part of the table had the most authority there to take the decision, make the decision for that negotiation outcome. And it wasn't like that. So you need to know if you want to be effective on your negotiations, on your business outcomes, right? So we need to develop that in our students. Right now, I'm teaching the course multicultural teams for the MGBA, and we're talking about all that. And I made a survey, and they got super lower score. And it's because we don't usually are reading or learning about those facts or that data, right? So once they finish with the course, I hope they have a higher degree or outcomes there. But this is why this is important, right? Another ability or skill, language proficiency, that Erika is going to talk about that in a few minutes. Adaptability, how we can adapt to the differences that we're seeing when we're collaborating with different cultures. We need to establish how we are going to interact, how we are going to design certain policies to make our work effectively. And that needs to have that adaptability, because probably it's not what I'm used to do, but we need to be able to adapt We need to have critical thinking, that most of the students are developing that skill without knowing, probably because as a professor are not saying like, hey, you are developing this with critical thinking, but the critical thinking is how we can gather information, analyze it, and then get to a conclusion. So that is very important in if we want to be working or just collaborating in another part of the world with different cultures, right? And another thing very important, diversity appreciation. How we can appreciate that differences that we are seeing, that we are interacting with. Okay, here is the how. International experiences is one of them. It's very, very important that we look for that we look for those opportunities for our students. It doesn't have to be like, okay, I have to go 1 year and do an internship, or it's probably just bringing different professors that are from different countries, just sharing their experiences, probably just exposing our students to different students from different countries, conferences, just making sure that the courses have that aspect, right? That like they are teaching us and teaching our students to collaborate with these global citizens that we are going to be faced once they are working or we are advising them. Global networks, that Kristin is going to talk about that. That's very important that our students know how to do that, how to get those global networks, and how to make sure they're taking advantage of them. Multicultural teams, we need to face or make those challenges inside our courses to make them compete or make them work or make them present with multicultural teams skills or tools or models or theories, right? Heightened awareness of international issues, that is going to make them be aware and formulate different solutions that we need to have for improving our world. Career opportunities, I'm sure there is a lot. We are in the border here, so there are a lot of career opportunities for them international. We need to look for more opportunities in terms of internships in different countries. And also this is going to give them personal growth, how we can help them to have that ethical values or that ethical perspective at the same time that the human values and the getting to know personal or the value that is knowing different cultures and different persons and try to widen our perspective, our vision of our world and what we can do and how we can collaborate to improve it. And the future ready global citizens is, what is this about? How we can make sure that we do that, right? Here is improving intercultural communication.
We have 2 more minutes.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Learning customs and culture is not just learning the language. Open mind, don't stereotype, avoid misunderstanding, style adaptation. Probably Erika is going to talk about all this. And this is very important. Learn how to respect. Okay. And communication in business, we need to make sure that the intonation, gestures, facial expression, all that has a meaning, and it could bring us problems into business. So we need to be aware of, and this is very important, how we can make sure to have a good or higher performance or being effective in business when we are talking about cross-cultural teams, cross-cultural collaborators. We need to increase our cross-cultural intelligence. We need to read, we need to do research, we need to understand. So we need to know, we need to understand, we need to respect, even if we don't understand, we need to respect it. We need to adapt. and adopt the best practices. But sometimes we think the best we have is what we have is the best. And we need to understand that probably adapting and adopting will be best for our teams and for the outcomes that we are going to have. So my 2 cents was this one last minute that I have. Students, please be aware of this cultural intelligence that you need to develop. For educators, just have in mind that we have a big task, right? We need to do our homework in this issue because our students need to be prepared to face the challenges of a global economy. For professionals, you can be always learning, be reading, researching, going to conferences, and exposing yourself at these collaboration alliances, international collaborations. For the same for business and companies, and for government and education department, I think we need a lot to do some more research to help our students to develop these skills that they need to have. Here are the references, and thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Mónica Acosta, for that wonderful presentation. That's very insightful. If you will stop sharing that screen, we will go to our second expert, who is Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo. She was born in Querétaro City in central Mexico and has been happily living in Mexicali for almost 24 years. Dr. Erika holds a BA in Modern Languages, English, and a Master's in Education and a PhD in Linguistics. She has been teaching for more than 28 years. 23 of those have been for the Universidad-Autónoma de Baja California, otherwise called UABC. She is a research professor and a member of the National Research System Level 1 since 2023. Her areas of research are code switching, language transfer, and the language teaching training process. Dr. Martínez Lugo is passionate about teaching, and what she enjoys the most is guiding students in their teaching training process through analyzing and discussing case studies about the teaching learning process and reflecting about the teacher's role. Learning along with students and from her students has been an enriching experience, and Dr. Martínez Lugo thinks teaching has a very important role in the future for students, the city, the state, and the country. Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo.
Thank you very much. Aujourd'hui, c'est une belle journée. Hola, creo que hoy es un día muy bonito, muy hermoso. Hi, everybody. I think today is a beautiful day. And those are the 3 languages that I kind of handled. If not, I would say more. But that's just a taste of why bilingualism is a need in the global economy. The next one. And as I relax a little bit, I'll leave you with these quotes, these proverbs that are related to bilingualism or to speaking more than one language. A new language is a new life. And I am living a new life thanks to the fact that I speak English, both English and Spanish. A man who knows 2 languages is worth 2 men. And as one of my students said, yeah, teacher, but they don't pay me as if I were 2 men. They pay me as if I am only 1 man. But I say, what you are making is not only the money, but also the knowledge and experience. You live a new life for every new language you speak. If you only speak 1 language, you live only once. And there's a beautiful world and a beautiful and endless possibilities of living more than 1 life. And you can never understand 1 language until you understand at least 2. And I understood Spanish better once I learned English, especially the object pronouns and stuff like that, for example. Thank you very much. Next one. So today we're talking about globalization. But what is globalization? It is a term used to describe the increasing connectedness and interdependence of world cultures and economies. Increasing connectedness and interdependence of world cultures and economies. But there's an ability that you must actually achieve or have in order to achieve this interconnectedness, and that is the ability to speak foreign languages. Next one. So the question, why learn a foreign or a second language, depending on the context? Next. I thought I was controlling it. That's me thinking. And then the next. Let's think first, what is language? And it is important for everybody to understand that language is not only a system of sounds or a system of rules of sounds, words, and sentences. Language is more than that. Language has also a social function, both as a means of communication and as a way of identifying social groups. Very important. So it's not only grammar. In other words, not only grammar, but also something else. Let's go to the next one, please. Okay, Chomsky gave us beautiful concepts such as competence and performance. Competence is everything we have in our personal computer here stored, and performance is what we let other people know what we have storage here, via performing it. However, and this is important because sometimes when you are not very fluent in one language or you're very shy, I always tell my students, when you go to a bar and suddenly this huge, beautiful, handsome man or woman approaches to you and say, hi, you get so nervous and you say, sí. And sí or yes does not answer to the hi, how are you? But it's just so you're nervous. So the performance is not showing exactly what you have in your personal computer, all right? So competence and performance. A good language course should help students or should aim at helping students develop communicative competence. And communicative competence includes 4 sub-competence as proposed by Canal. Grammatical competence, discourse competence, social linguistic competence, and strategic competence. Grammatical competence is when in a language course you learn all the grammar rules, the morphology, the syntax, the pronunciation rules. And then at that level, I would say things like, I am Erika, I am a teacher, I am Mexican, I am a woman, I am a mother. If you notice, it's sentence level. A language course should help you develop discourse competence, which is going beyond sentence level. Being able to express ideas, both written and spoken, with a smooth transition in between one sentence and another. Therefore, you learn to use cohesive devices, connectors, so that you have that smooth transition in between your ideas that are grammatically correct, but also coherent. That wouldn't be enough. That wouldn't be enough. You still need to develop social linguistic competence, and that is very important. A good language course should help you develop social linguistic competence, which is knowing those social pragmatical rules that go along with the language. Mónica was saying, how would you say hi to a Japanese? How would you greet a Japanese person without bowing? And Linda said, I wouldn't. I would probably, try to handshake, but I know I have to bow. That is part of the social linguistic competence that we in language courses should help our students develop. And we help them by even saying the importance of the person that receive is shown to Japanese people also by how the length of the bow and how deep the bow is. So those are important things that we also teach in language courses. And then we also should help students develop strategic competence. That is, how do you compensate for those instances when you are so stressed, so tired, or you just don't know how to say something? We need to teach them some strategies so that they can overcome those situations. That can be pointing, describing, drawing, and if it's not that relevant, even dropping the idea. Yes, so a good language course should help you develop all those things. Next one, please. Which also go along with what Mónica was saying about cultural awareness, cross-linguistic, etc., etc. Now, why do languages come in contact? There are several reasons. Political issues like wars, invasions, colonizations make force or happen to have language in contact. Natural disasters. So natural disasters push people away sometimes, and or some people that go and help. That's why languages get in contact. Another one is for religious beliefs. You want to move to a country where you empathize with the religion beliefs, or you are pushed away from where you are because of your religious beliefs. Another reason is you are very keen on the culture of the languages that are spoken. So you want to go to those countries because you want to learn more about those countries because you are fascinated by the culture. Mexico, for example, is a huge consumer of Hollywood because we love Hollywood movies and singers and stuff like that. Another very important reason why languages come in contact is because of love. Love is love, all right? And very important because of economical reasons. People go to different areas because they want to make more money, but also you go and study abroad because you know that if you study abroad, when you return to your country, you have a plus. You have something else to add to your resume. Not only the experience, but you usually become more fluent with the language. Next one. But I want to tell you about something very interesting, the attitudes towards bilingualism. Next. So people used to believe, early in the 19th century, people used to believe that bilingualism had a detrimental effect on humans' being intellectual and spiritual growth. It was believed that humans were, because in the process of becoming bilingual, you might not be very fluent in one or the other. And for some people, that was seen as maybe that person is cognitively challenged. There is something wrong with that person because he's not producing, correct sentences, or is not producing correct sounds. Some other people used to believe that maybe their soul was possessed by an evil entity, and that's why the person was unable to learn a language. Now we know that is not the case. Next, we know it's not that. Experience with two language systems favors mental flexibility, superiority in concept formation, and more diversified set of mental abilities. And research keeps telling us more and more findings. For example, next, bilingualism furthers the ability to empathize and see situation from another perspective. And when you do business, you really need to understand that. It enhances cognitive skills, memory, attention, multitasking, problem-solving situations, and very important, it delays onset of dementia and or Alzheimer. So, luckily for us, bilingualism attitudes have changed from negative to something more positive. Let's see about bilingualism in the world. Next one, please. These are just numbers. Se perdió el color. So monolingual, as defined by a person knowing only one language, it is believed that 40% of the population in the world are monolingual. Bilingual, a person, look at this definition, because here is where there is a little problem. Bilingual, a person using or being able to use two languages, especially with equal fluency. 43% of the population. Trilingual, someone who speaks three languages fluently, 13%. Multilingual, a person who speaks more than two languages, usually 4 or more, 3%. And polyglots are only 1% of the population, and they speak 5 languages or more. But the problem with these concepts is that they are thinking of people speaking both or whatever amount of languages they speak at the same level of fluency. That's why you have a note there that some other data says that 60 to 75% of the population speak at least 2 languages. I learned about pig language or something like that in the United States. Or in Mexico, we have the when we use con la F, like ofolafa, jefelofo. It's, for some people that is being bilingual, because when you use those codes, you include or exclude people. And I can work a lot.
2 more minutes.
Okay. So are monolinguals missing out? Maybe they are. So next one, economic benefits of bilingualism. Mónica spoke about this in general, but I'm just going to concentrate on the fact that the demand of bilingual employees is increasing, particularly for those who speak Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic. And in the finance, healthcare, legal service, customer service sectors. Research has told us that people who are bilingual this study was carried out in California. They're more likely to complete their high school education than those who grew up only speaking English. Next one, because I want to, okay, this has to do with what Monica was saying. You basically have a wider portfolio of options. The world is the limit once you speak more than one language. Next one, some facts. Bilingual remote job opportunities has increased 30% in the United States since COVID-19. And even for Mexico, we have a lot of people now doing long distance and remote job internationally. And then you get better payment. So maybe the question, next one, maybe the question should not be why learn a second language? Maybe the question should be, next, why not learn a second language? And maybe if students are listening to this, maybe this will tell you a little bit why is it that higher education programs include language requirements. I'm sure you have a language requirement, and you should think why a university is asking me for a language requirement on top of all the classes that I have had that are related to my profession. Well, it's because they are preparing you for the global economy. Next, and that is also why they have, as I was saying, language requirement, internationalization programs. They promote academic mobility, and they try to have student exchange programs. We in Facultad, at UABC, we have el Centro de Educación Continua, where we have, as you can see, a wide possibilities of language for you to learn. And then you have a list of references. And thank you very much. Gracias. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo. You have certainly given us some very compelling reasons to learn another language. Our capstone presentation is with Kristin Allen, and Kristin has served in the role of Executive Director at Global Ties Arizona since February of 2021 and has worked across international spaces for the last 15 years. Her experience spans language teaching abroad, international real estate development, cross-border business, and foundation relations, and international higher education. Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Kristin embarked on her global journey in 2007, living and working first in Nicaragua and then Spain for nearly 6 years. Kristin is bilingual in Spanish and holds a bachelor's from Westminster College, Pennsylvania, and a master's from New York University, degrees in Spanish and Latin American languages and cultural studies. In 2013, Kristin returned to the States from Spain, spending a year in Washington, D.C. with an international business consulting firm before relocating to Phoenix, Arizona in 2014, when she fell in love with the Southwest United States. Immediately prior to joining Global Ties Arizona, Kristin served as program manager for strategic global initiatives at Northern Arizona University. In this role, Kristin directed partnerships with Mexico and Latin America, hosting visiting delegations and groups in Arizona, developing relationships with universities, governments, industry, and other organizations abroad, and leading student recruitment and developing new programs. Kristin served on the Global Ties Arizona Board of Directors from 2015 to 2018. Please welcome Kristin Allen.
Thank you so much, Linda. Good morning, everyone. I really appreciate the invitation to be here today. Thank you to Tara Jackson, the Arizona Town Hall, and Linda for this opportunity. We have at Global Ties Arizona been delighted to be able to partner with Arizona Town Hall on recent occasions in areas specific to what I'll be speaking to this morning. And it's fantastic to be able to contribute to this conversation and share this space with Dr. Martínez Lugo and Dr. Acosta Alvarado, and fantastic presentations. And I definitely want to say that I think that my presentation will continue to build upon that and really underscore the importance of building that cross-cultural network, which Mónica first spoke about, and now also the need for really building your skills around a second language as well. And so thank you so much, Linda, for sharing a bit about my journey, because I think that that also really highlights why I think that gaining cross-cultural skills and building a strong network is really important for anyone's career path, no matter what they want to do. And I would say for me, Spanish language did really spark my interest in high school. It was one of my favorite subjects. I had the opportunity to fundraise and travel to Spain for the very first time with my Spanish club when I was 16, and it really marked my path forward. I was enamored by the language, intrigued by the people I met, the culture, vast history, but above all, I felt this very strong desire to be able to connect with these people on a deeper level. And I knew that in order to do that, I was going to need to spend more time, make the effort, not only learning a language, but spending the time learning about the people. And so, as Linda mentioned, I spent time after university, studied abroad, but also spent time after university working in Nicaragua in an internship, and then also going on to spend about 6 years in Spain with English language teaching. And I was really fortunate that an opportunity brought me to Arizona in 2014, and I haven't looked back. I absolutely love it here. And what I think has been the most rewarding part of living in Arizona and gaining the skill set and language skills that I have is the opportunity to really be able to use that here in a cross-border state. I share with my colleagues that I also worked with Northern Arizona University and had the opportunity to work with UABC and CETIS in my time with NAU. And I continue to carry with me the importance that students have not only international experiences, because no matter where you go, it's going to be a wonderful experience, but really want to underscore that even just the opportunity to go across the border between Arizona, Baja California, and Sonora is going to be transformative, and it's really going to give you the opportunity to develop skills that are going to last and build relationships in your network to continue to support your goals. And especially as Phoenix and the mega region continue to occupy a very, very important space for trade and new workforce, there's really, really so much opportunity here in Greater Phoenix and the Arizona Sonora mega region. I want to just say that where my career path has really led me to where I am today as executive director with Global Ties Arizona. And I just want to start by sharing a little bit about Global Ties. We are part of the largest and oldest citizen diplomacy network in the United States, connecting emerging and current foreign leaders from all around the world with their Arizona counterparts as part of a key U.S. Department of State program. We also connect our community members with international affairs through community education programs. Some of the things that we do are, as I mentioned, the Professional International Exchange, where we host leaders through the International Visitor Leadership Program, the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative. Both of these are U.S. Department of State initiatives. And then some of our newer programs are our Young Diplomats High School Summer Program, our Worldly Women Collective, that is a monthly networking opportunity for women with global mindsets to come together and build collaborative relationships. And we also host guest speakers, forums, and we also have an exchange scholarship program, which I'll share a little bit more about coming up. But I want to really dive into why it's really important for us to build not only our cross-cultural skill set, but our cross-cultural network. Whether or not you're looking to work specifically in an area like the one I am in now, which is really centered around international exchange and public diplomacy, almost every job out there nowadays is really going to look for candidates that possess the ability to work across cultures and amongst diverse and global teams, as we heard earlier. So in a recent U.S. Department of Education survey, 93% of employers said that they really value employees who can work effectively across cultures. Also, 81% of recruiters in a 2020 survey identified interpersonal skills as some of the most important, more than any other kind of skills. Interpersonal skills are going to go right hand in hand with understanding people from across other cultures. And as you can see here in the list of what employers really want and are looking for from new hires, cross-cultural sensitivity is really high up on that list. And so why is it important for companies? Working in diverse teams really fosters innovation, it promotes creativity, enhances problem-solving capabilities, and individuals from different cultures bring perspectives and new ideas and experiences to the table. The diversity of thought not only leads to well-rounded decision-making, but it also really makes projects more robust and coherent. Diverse teams are also what is mirrored in today's modern workforce, and preparing our students to work successfully in an interconnected world is necessary as collaboration across borders is consistently becoming the norm. And while inclusivity is a big part of embracing diversity in teams, it's also a strategic advantage for companies because it drives better outcomes across fields. The COVID-19 pandemic, which was touched on earlier as well, has really accelerated the shift towards remote and hybrid workplaces. And it's really reshaped what we think of as traditional notions of work. We all experienced some type of lockdown. We all experienced social distancing. But what came out of that was that organizations were forced to adapt. And this experience really showcased that remote and hybrid work can be effective with the right collaboration tools and with the right remote work setups. But it also showed how important it is for employers to become more flexible in the modern workplace. And while these new forms of working, interconnectivity, hybrid offices, and more diverse teams create efficiencies that benefit companies, they also require professionals that are going to be more agile in their communication, their interpersonal skills, and also their commands of technology. So according to the Graduate Management Admissions Council, corporate recruiters say that students that are emerging from MBA and other business master's programs who are able to adapt and balance their communication and behavior to fit specific situations, most of them being probably in cross-cultural settings, are going to be highly in demand. So cross-cultural skills are going to be continuing to be crucial, even in hybrid workspaces, due to the increased diversity and global nature of our teams. In a hybrid workplace, employees, as mentioned, often are collaborating with colleagues from different cultural backgrounds, from somewhere across the globe, or within their own office. And understanding and respecting these cultural differences, as we heard earlier, really helps foster effective communication, teamwork, and collaboration. And it also, as also mentioned earlier, it helps reduce those risks of misinterpretations, misunderstandings, which can ultimately really be more pronounced sometimes in a virtual work environment. As shared earlier, for me, it was really a combination and a culmination of cross-cultural experiences that have helped me along my own career path. But there's a lot of other skills and positive outcomes that you are going to gain from having experience in cross-cultural, either learning environments or work environments. One of those, and the biggest ones, being enhanced communication skills. Effective communication is the cornerstone of any successful endeavor. And when we learn to be able to navigate the nuances of different cultures, we ourselves become better communicators. We're able to bridge language barriers, avoid misunderstandings, and we're able to convey our ideas more clearly. It also promotes cultural understanding. We talked a little bit earlier about how it supports our own personal growth, but it also gives us that ability to interact and work with people from other backgrounds in a respectful and effective manner. And this competence not only enriches our lives, but it makes us highly desirable employees, as we saw in some of those statistics. We also had mentioned earlier in our presentations that global citizenship is a big part of it. We have realized through the COVID-19 pandemic just how small our world can actually feel when global problems come right to our doorstep. And so this really enables us to appreciate the interconnectedness of our world, and it helps us be able to figure out how we can more positively contribute as an individual to some of these global challenges like climate change, poverty, and social justice issues. Conflict resolution, this is a very, very big part of it as we see what is continuing to go on around our world and within our own countries. Since the beginning of humanity, conflicts have happened, and that's never going to stop. But individuals that have strong cross-cultural skills are going to be better equipped to mediate conflicts amongst members of a group that are from different backgrounds, help build bridges, and then find solutions that promote harmony and understanding amongst the group. And then finally, career advancement. Those that are going to be able to navigate these settings are going to be probably more successful in their career path. Employers are seeking individuals that can collaborate cross-culturally. And as we see more and more companies operating on a global scale, those that can navigate interactions are more likely to excel in their careers. So you're going to see more access to international opportunities as well as promotions and advancement in your own workplace. And so what are some of the things that you can do now to expand your skill set? Well, you can pursue study abroad. I realize travel costs are not cheap. Inflation has not helped matters, but I encourage you to keep this opportunity top of mind and seek out ways to do it. There's scholarships that exist, and there are also work study paid internship opportunities. My advice is to dig in, do the research, make some calls, and ask around. Join international or cultural clubs. Your university and community are a great place to start. There are international chambers of commerce, language practice groups, and organizations like Global Ties Arizona that are looking for people like you to join their causes. Attend conferences and events. This is probably the greatest place to start building that global network. There are plenty of free and discounted events for students. So do some global or Googling, and I'm sure you'll come across plenty. I also have one coming up to share with you. You can welcome international visitors through organizations like mine or even within your own university. Reach out to your international office, let them know that you're interested in becoming an ambassador. And there are tons of online and print resources, but specifically, I really do think that LinkedIn is a fantastic online tool, and I encourage you to spend some time building out your profile and online resume to really reflect the type of role that you're looking for. And finally, some ways that you can get involved with us to gain some of these cross-cultural skills is ultimately, if you're based here in the Phoenix area, we're always looking for volunteers to accompany our international delegations, serve as meeting guides and cultural guides, or help us with our international events. We have events, specifically one coming up next Tuesday that is available both in person and online, that will be looking at global workforce trends that are affecting us locally. And then finally, if you're planning to study abroad, we do offer a scholarship semester-based. The deadline for fall has now closed, but please continue to watch our website, and we'll be opening another scholarship round for both Arizona university students that are studying abroad in spring or summer 2024, as well as for international students that are studying at an Arizona higher education institution. And so with that, I will leave here some information for contact, and I'll also put in the chat box some of these links so that you can get involved with us and really start building your network and your skill set.
Thank you so much, Kristin Allen. That was very, very valuable information. We now have some time to answer your questions. I don't know if our panelists have had the chance to see the Q&A box, which is in the bottom of your screen. If you wish to pose a question, please click on it and you will be able to write your question in. But during your presentations, we have been receiving very, very encouraging comments about how great your presentations are, how valuable. They love your quotes. They want to know how to access the different comments that are there. And so I will tell you that we have a website for Arizona Town Hall called aztownhall.org, which is where you could access the page that is on Cross-Border Connecting. Also, Arizona Town Hall has a YouTube channel that you will be able to view this particular presentation after a few days when they're able to post that. But let's go on to some different questions that are here. One of the questions, and I think this one is for Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo, is the participant is wondering if there is a tool or a resource for learning a second language when a disability is involved that affects the ability of the mouth or the tongue to move the way needed to pronounce the words. Dr. Martínez Lugo, what do you suggest?
I don't have an answer for that, like a short answer, but I have read studies that have the music and singing and, mind singing has helped people with some problems. I would have to look into that and gladly respond to that person later on if we can have her email address.
Okay, if that particular person could share their information, we could have Dr. Martínez Lugo contact you directly. Kristin, we also hear that they miss you at NAU, and they are looking to build some bridges between NAU School of Hotel and Restaurant Management and Arizona's cross-cultural workforce on improving the cultural hospitality values.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you, Mark, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. What I will say is Global Ties does have a strong connection with NAU. We have someone from the Center for International Education that serves on our board of directors, and we have been taking several delegations up to NAU over the last year and a half since our in-person programming has come back. But I would absolutely love to connect and chat about how we could specifically maybe provide some support and insight for that. There's so much opportunity in the hospitality industry, and happy to help facilitate any connections that I can.
Thank you, Kristin Allen. Here's a question that says it could be for all three of you. What are universities doing on both sides of the border in regards to developing multicultural skills as well as soft skills in the workforce? Mónica, Dr. Mónica Acosta Alvarado.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, very interesting question. I think it's a challenge. I can speak a little bit more. The question is both sides of the border, so that's great because I can tell you what CETIS University is doing right now. What they did in 2010, they added to all the curricula the global citizenship course. So every student at CETIS University that they want to graduate for their bachelor's, for having a degree, they need to at least have one international experience in their 4 years of school. They need to have the English language, and they need to have different interactions with different international professors. And also it's not a requisite or prerequisite to graduate, but they have a lot of opportunities to have internships and go abroad for 1 semester, 1 year to different countries. And also they have the dual degree that they can pursue with different universities in different countries. They have with I don't remember the university that they have a lot of campuses in different countries in the world. So it's what they have been doing at NAU or here in the United States. What we need to develop, or what we are trying to develop inside our courses, is the critical thinking, creative thinking, and also global thinking. And for the MGBA, we are offering a lot of courses with that interest in mind. We have the international strategies for negotiation. We have the cross-cultural teams. We have multicultural negotiation and communication. So I believe universities are aware of that need. I believe also that we could be doing so much more. And also just trying to open the mindset of our students to understand the importance of this topic that we are discussing right now. And also I would like to, I know the question is universities, but I was doing research for this presentation about the K-12, how can we prepare K-12 students for global economy? And they were talking about how we could use international education to facilitate that career and college readiness for our students. And they're talking about global networks. They're talking about intercultural competence. They're talking about language proficiency. So what the IB international bachelors that said this is also offering, and I'm sure here in the United States must be offered, is taking into consideration this, that we need to be developing in our students since kindergarten this cultural awareness, that if we need them to be career prepared, right, for this global economy. I hope this helps.
Thank you, Dr. Acosta Alvarado. Would Kristin Allen or Dr. Erika Martínez Lugo like to address this question? This is on how universities are doing on both sides of the border in regards to developing multicultural skills.
UABC internationalization or program is very, very strong in having students. Right now, I have 5 of my tutoradas, 2 in Spain, 1 in Korea, 1 in Japan, and 1 in Italy, just from Facultad de Idiomas. I don't know the number in the UABC in total, but and in the case of Facultad de Lenguas or Facultad de Idiomas, with language teaching training, it is included that they have to develop these skills because they will have to help their future students develop those skills. And the president of the university, we have a new president of the university as from this year, has included in the PDA, in el Plan de Desarrollo Institucional, a lot of activities that will promote multicultural skills and in the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristin Allen.
Sure, I'll just add on a comment here. Ultimately, I'm no longer affiliated with a university, though that was my previous position at Northern Arizona University. I think, ultimately there are a variety of study abroad programs on both the receiving and sending end. But what I'll maybe offer as something additional to the universities on the line that are Phoenix and Northern Arizona based is that our organization does very actively partner with and work with the higher education institutions when we are bringing in international leaders, as well as when we're holding international events. And I think that this is a great opportunity to really give your students to come in and interact with these up and coming foreign leaders to really learn what is going on within their communities, what change they're trying to promote in their home country. That's oftentimes very, very big change on enormous levels, as well as partnering around different types of speaker events. So that shared, I'd be very, very happy to connect with any of the universities on the line around how we can partner to bring opportunities to your student base in order for them to develop these skills without having to potentially go abroad, even though I still do very, very much highly recommend it for students.
Thank you, Kristin Allen. So here's a question. Why, if students should say, why do I need to go to college or the university to develop these skills? Won't I develop these skills on the job? Why go to college or university? What would you say? Who would like to address that?
Go ahead, Mónica. You can check.
Okay, just a little bit back with the last question that was talking also about soft skills and it's going to be linked with this last question, is I believe there is a challenge in most post-pandemic that we need to develop those soft skills in our students and in us as professionals. Also, it's linked with what Kristin was saying, like online work and how this virtual world has increased, right, for the workforce. It's very, very important to develop those soft skills. I believe in the universities we're embedding everything inside our courses, but there is a challenge with online courses, obviously. So we're trying to build that sense of community, having Zoom meetings at least for the online students in all the online courses. And that last question is, no, we don't definitely we don't need to go into a university career or college, right? We need to be developing those skills since we were born. Like parents, I believe we are concerned about that, and we are putting our, like, how can I say, in Spanish is semillita. I don't know how will you say it, Kristin or Linda, in English.
Little seeds.
Little seeds, right, in our kids, and trying to develop those skills since they are just trying to learn to speak or walk, or so it's very important. And obviously inside the companies, human resources has that challenge also, and I believe they are doing a great job on developing those skills. But I will say, because I have been working in universities, and I really believe about the education, not just formal. I'm sure we can do that at our house with online courses, also just in our work or with our families. But I believe pursuing a college degree or a university degree will help us a lot to have a more structured mindset. And it's not that we cannot learn to think, right, without a university degree, but it obviously helps, because it's a constant, like it's you need to be working on it, have discipline, have that time to work on that. Even as a professors, we need to keep developing that sense of creative thinking, critical thinking, and getting to different conclusions, trying to form different links in our brain. So it's very important to pursue that in our work or going to universities. Kristin.
Thank you. Kristin?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I really 100% agree with Mónica that at the end of the day, pursuing a university degree isn't essential, but it depends on maybe where you want to end up. And what I will say is, along with agreeing with Mónica that pursuing higher education will help you with really honing critical thinking skills, which I think make you a much more competitive candidate. It also increases your earning potential when you have a degree in a specialty area. And it also just opens up opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing, is that when I decided to pursue a master's program, a lot of that came down to the fact that I was in the middle of really not being able to find the type of work opportunity that I was looking for. And I do think that you can find those, but this is also why I go back to how important it is to build out your network. You will very much build out a high quality network when you pursue higher education or even education abroad. So what I would say, coming back to the start of it, is that if you really are unsure as to what you want to study, there's nothing wrong with taking time off to pursue or to explore different types of careers, and really, have a period of exploration, take a gap year or whatever you need to do to connect with folks across different industries to really find out what really sparks your interest. Learn about how those people got to their specific career, interview them, shadow them, but get really specific around what you're looking to do, because people will be able to help you more when you yourself really understand what it is you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Erika?
Yeah, I just want to say that college gives you the tools to launch, it triggers you, wherever you want to go. So I think college is important because of the knowledge, the connections, or as Kristin was saying, the network you can, build. And the programs now have this progressive training where the idea is that when you end up your 4 or 5 year program, you finish your bachelor program with some experience already in the field of that you will. So college is really important. If it is your choice, you should choose attending college or university. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Erika. I also have a question for you. What we have noticed in the past 5 years is more support in Mexico for students around the country to learn English and to study being an entrepreneur or an emprendedor. What can you share with us on that?
In the 1990s, due to the El Tratado de Libre Comercio, se me fue in English, Mónica.
That was the TEMEC or the, yes, the.
Yeah, due to
yeah.
the TEMEC, language teaching became very popular as a career, as a bachelor program in several universities in Mexico, because the objective was to help train engineers and even workers online in the industry, so that they could communicate. But now we know that we need to move beyond that and not only serve or provide services, but also create jobs. And that is why now in Mexico, entrepreneurship or in the universities, that is very important. So we want our students, once they finish college, that they are not only aiming at being employed by companies, but also creator companies. And as we were saying, speaking English is very important. It's just like but as I said, it's just the beginning. That is one language that is necessary, but there can be many more.
Thank you very much, Dr. Erika. We have another question, which is from Jerry, asking, what are global corporations requiring when they recruit? Either certifications or degrees based on their new technology being implemented? What about artificial intelligence, which is possibly crossing these bridges or borders? Who can help us with this one?
I can jump in first. Ultimately, I think each job is going to probably have different requirements, right? And in terms of what they're really looking for in an employee, you have your very technical based positions that have a very specific skill set. That said, I think even within careers like engineering, there's a very critical need for folks to still be able to communicate in diverse environments and across teams. We just hosted recently a delegation from Egypt that visited. It was Egyptian engineers that met with engineers here. So that was even a perfect example of how these very technical folks were still trying to find solutions to similar challenges together across different cultures. But in terms of new technology like AI, I think that's going to be very interesting. Part of our program next Tuesday is going to touch on AI in the workplace. So we have some experts in the field of artificial intelligence and really what that's doing to recruitment practices and just the use of AI in the workplace. I obviously am not an AI expert, so I'm going to leave it to them, but I encourage you to check out that event if of interest. It's available online.
Thank you. Would Dr. Mónica or Dr. Erika like to address this on what global corporations are looking for?
I will say just from the human talent management perspective, that is what Kristin already said. It depends on the position that is available, in what the requisites are required for that profile. And but usually what we will want in a company is that at least have that cross-cultural awareness, cross-cultural sensitive, and but more and more the companies are asking for another language, yeah, to have experience on it. That probably a certificate won't give you that, but it's fair to say that certificates or certifications and degrees will offer you that also. Certifications or certificates are faster. A lot of universities also are providing them or offering them. And also like Honeywell, they have like a huge platform for the employees where they can take these online courses, online certifications, online certificates, online. So it's good for, if you're aware of your company that it's offering that, you should take advantage of it.
Thank you very much. We'll wrap up our questions for now. And thank you very much to our participants for those excellent questions. Tara Jackson, I turn the program back over to you.
Thanks so much, Linda. And what an amazing set of panelists. And obviously, not only I, but everyone else really loved your presentation. So to follow up with what Linda said, we will be loading those on our website. There are so many people who wanted those as resources. And I'm going to ask, because I realized I couldn't do it, if Alex, if you would put the links I just sent you in the global chat to everyone, because I wanted to talk about a few things that I thought were really interesting. You know, this program was titled Preparing Students for a Career in the Global Economy. But I think the answers and the presentations that you gave could have answered the question, how do we prepare ourselves, whether we are lifelong students or just people who are running or working for organizations. Every single thing you brought up is a factor and a concept that everyone needs to be thinking about to be successful, whether they're in government and business and education or running other organizations. So really, really helpful. And on that note, I didn't say much in the beginning about what the Arizona Town Hall is. So I'm going to give a brief elevator speech on that as I highlight some events we have coming up, because it really connects with everything you said today. If you're not familiar with us, and from the attendees, I see many of you are, but we're a nonprofit organization kind of grown and born here in Arizona, and our mission, which we've been doing for over 62 years, is to bring diverse people together, to honor not only diversity, but in an understanding that it creates the best solutions. You know, some of you talked about that, how it creates better business solutions, creates better international solutions. That's what we've been doing. And thanks to efforts by people like Linda and some others, we have been taking some of the work and processes that we use to other international organizations and opportunities, not the least of which is something really important we have coming up. You know, virtual programs are wonderful. This was a wonderful virtual program. What is even better for all of us to be successful in this global community is to be present in different cultures. And that is what started our first Arizona-Mexico Town Hall some years ago. And so hopefully everyone can see it now. There's a link to the program we have coming up on October 6th. That will be in Hermosillo, Sonora. You can go to our website and sign up for it. It is really, thanks to some sponsors, incredibly reasonable to attend. Amazing panelists, similar to today, except that they'll be live, so even better. And we will also be talking about workforce. That's one other aspect I want to bring up. The Arizona Town Hall not only addresses topics we look at, selected by our members and supporters, but we're hired as consultants to come in and use our process to help people manage or get some strategic direction on different issues. I cannot begin to tell you how many times in the last several years, the topic that has come up more and more is workforce. How to create the workforce we need, not only in the future, but right now. One of the major factors being the enormous change in demographics, which was exacerbated by the pandemic with baby boomers retiring, and the need for all of us to find those cross-cultural connections and realize this is a global issue. And what is the best way for all of us to look at and understand that? It is to convene globally and when possible in person. So I encourage you to look at maybe coming to that event in Hermosillo. It's one day. It should be wonderful. And then we have another event that's in there called Bridging Divides to Build Community. That's at the end of this month. That is really to look at how do we come together, not only as communities and as a nation, but also internationally. Some of those important communication concepts that some of you brought up. How do we build those skills, and what are some ways that we can all build those skills for ourselves to be stronger together? And last but not least, I posted one other event, our statewide town hall on equity. Equity is our topic for this year. So if you're attending, feel free to look on our website for some programs that might be near you. We have one in Yuma, we have some in Mojave County, we have them in just about every county in the state, and some that are virtual as well. So last but not least, I just want to thank Linda Elliott-Nelson once again for being the heart and soul of this effort with our International Relations Committee, and for bringing together an incredible panel, such important information you presented. So thank you all, and we hope to see you all soon, virtually and maybe in person.